I'm like, oh, sass, yeah. Yeah, I prefer heartbreak to my girl that I can't stay. Where were you on my dark days? Think it's best that we part ways, yeah. Oh, me, where were you when I was low? If you love me, you would show me. Thought you were the one and only. You thought I was gonna care for you. What was I supposed to do? I just wanna know the truth. Was it really me or you? Yeah. Ooh, things have changed. Lately I be thinking we should be on better terms. Tell me if you love me, makes everything work. Tell me if you still think I'm the one for you. See, I don't know. We could have grown, but you always in your phone. Was that something that you didn't want me to know? I could be on my own, can you just leave me alone? Yeah. Was there someone I couldn't be? Was there something I couldn't see? Let me know, God, let me know. Just tell me, girl. Was there someone I couldn't be? Was there something I couldn't see? Just let me know, yeah. Yeah, I prefer heartbreak to my girl that I can't stay. Where were you on my dark days? Think it's best that we part ways, yeah. Oh, me, where were you when I was low? If you love me, you would show me. Thought you were the one and only, yeah. I just wanna show you off to the world like you're mine, babe. I just wanna show you off to the world like you're my babe. Rewind. Girl, you know my love is on the decline. See, I just wanna settle down, but I can't waste time. Still I got things I can't change, that want my mind. Was there someone I couldn't be? Was there something I couldn't see? Let me know, girl, let me know. Just tell me, girl. Was there someone I couldn't be? Was there something I couldn't see? Just let me know, yeah. Yeah, I prefer heartbreak to my girl that I can't stay. Where were you on my dark days? Think it's best that we part ways, yeah. Oh, me, where were you when I was low? If you love me, you would show me. Thought you were the one and only.
Hello guys, welcome to Boxing Blog Center, the home of Nigerian and African boxing. And please, if you're new to this channel, make sure you click the like and of course the subscribe button right now, and also go to the notification bell icon, click it and select all, so that I'm dropping you a new exclusive video, you will definitely be notified. By the way, that music that plays now was signed by Osas. Go check out this guy. He's a top artist, upcoming artist. Check out Osas. Now let's get to it right here. Dillian the Body Snatcher White is currently on a legal battle. Okay, I say again, a legal battle with Crooks, aka WBC. How you guys say, but you're just like a little bit pathetic in a way, though. You look at the way WBC, Crooks, have been trying to not only do what they did in terms of trying to maneuver things, rankings, and everything else. We already know what it is. These guys, believe you me, I'm not a Dillian White fan. I am not going to tell you that I'm a Dillian White fan. I like Dillian White, but I'm not going to call myself a fan of his. But what is just is just. Give the guy his shot. Give the guy a shot because he deserves it. This guy has fought nothing but monsters after monsters after monsters after monsters. According to what's going on right now, before I play this at the end video, by the way, I'm going to call our brother soon. According to what's going on right now, let me play this at the end video right now first, so we can hear from the horse's mouth, But there is also a rumor that you guys don't know yet. Let's take a look at what he had to say first, then I will, talk more about that, about the rumors and the plans of Weeby Crooks.
Do you know, I think with the fights coming up, obviously Fury's got to fight Wilder and AJ's got to fight Usyk. The disappointment of that last time, and probably, to be honest with you, the sort of distrust that I have for a lot of people on that team, I'd just rather focus on the Usyk fight. The aim is always going to be the same, to win the Undisputed Championship, and that will never change. So it will always be there. It will always be my job. It will always be our intention to try and make that fight. But right now, again, we worked so hard to get that over the line. We got it in place. It was taken away from us. That's okay. That's life. That's business. But really, if we keep looking at that fight and not looking at the Usyk fight, we might be wasting our time anyway. So hopefully AJ beats Usyk. Hopefully Fury beats Wilder, and then we can just make that fight. We've got pretty much a deal in place from the last conversations that I think still works and everyone would be happy with. I do believe that Tyson Fury wants to fight with Anthony Joshua, and I know that AJ wants that fight more than ever, but there's certainly people in the team that I think don't want the fight. If you listen to the comments during the build-up, there was no enthusiasm. It was just us out there trying to do this deal, trying to get it over the line, and maybe I should have spotted that, but we were very focused to try and make it happen. I presumed everyone would want the biggest fight in boxing, but hey-ho. The only good thing I'll say is, and I'm not saying Fury Wilder's a cracker, but it's still, it's intriguing. And AJ against Usyk is a really good fight. So at least we've got two good fights building up to that fight, rather than, now,
And if it all goes well, fine. Eddie, when you're looking at February, March?
I think February, yeah. We always wanted to do it in December, but I think with AJ fighting September 25th, Fury now delayed until October. I think February is more realistic. They had a huge offer from Saudi Arabia to do the fight there. We talked off air about the possibility of staging that fight in different countries, and ultimately in the fight game, which is extremely dangerous, and these guys are putting themselves on the line. It is about generating as much money for the fight as possible, and there's no point petering around that and pretending there's not. But with fans back in the UK, is that an option? Las Vegas, we'll see. But first things first, let's just beat Usyk at Spurs, because if that doesn't go to plan, then we might as well forget about it.
I was listening. I mentioned this just before the break. Gary Neville does a show called The Overlap, and he was interviewing Anthony Joshua, and Joshua was just saying, look, everything from our side was in place. The contracts, the will was all there. We thought it was going to happen. For a fighter as well, for that to happen and for things to change up, and like you say, a great fight lined up, but how frustrating is it when you focus so much on one thing, and it's going to be the biggest thing in boxing, and then that goes again?
I think in boxing, nothing's ever a given. So whilst the focus was always Tyson Fury, there's always that doubt that it might not happen. To be honest with you, he was more pessimistic than certainly I was. He just felt in the back of his mind they didn't really want that fight. I actually felt that a lot of them did want that fight. I flew out to Vegas. I sat down with Tyson Fury face to face. He told me he wanted the fight, and I believed him. But AJ was good. I've got to say, I was pretty down in the dumps for a few days when that news broke, and he sort of gave me a kick up the backside and said, listen, you've done great. You did everything you can. Let's just move on and let's plan our career. So he's focused for the Usyk fight. He's had the ups and downs. Everything you can. Let's just move on and let's plan our career. So he's focused for the Usyk fight. He's had the ups and downs of the Andy Ruiz fight, and he knows what it's like to lose a fight that he shouldn't lose, and he doesn't want to make that same mistake again. So he's a tremendous person to work with. He's a great role model to any kid, any young fighter. His dedication to the sport is unparalleled. And he's I believe he's the best heavyweight in the world.
How long do you think he can stay in boxing for?
He said that to me the other day. Actually, he said, how long do you think I should fight for? He's a big thinker, right? And he loves to he's a very deep thinker, very intelligent, self-educated, and he just messaged me the other day and said, how long do you think I should fight for? I said, for how long you have the love for the sport, because it's such a dangerous sport. The minute you start fighting without desire, the minute you start fighting just for the money, you have to.
Well, this is mainly about AJ versus Fury. You heard it from Eddie Hearn right there. But looking at the Dillian White one, yes, Eddie Hearn. Say this right here. He said, I think Dillian White is pushing for answers and some justice. Yeah, when asked if this indicated there's still ongoing legal action, White's promoter Eddie Hearn confirmed to TalkSport.com, yeah, it is still ongoing. I think Dillian White's pushing for answers and some justice. You can't say Dillian White is now not mandatory. It's a lot of rubbish. I just want to keep him busy. Fight in September, fight in December. Guys, there you have it right here. Dillian White sued. We be Crooks, aka the WBC. There is an ongoing, there is a conspiracy out there that I need you guys to know very soon. But I'm gonna take you guys through the journey, as we unfold some rich truth right here. Boxy Block Center is the home of Nigerian and African boxing, and how right here we tell you guys what it is, how it is, and how it should be. Okay. I'm not gonna tell you that I'm a Dillian White fan. You guys already know. I'm not, okay? I like the brother. I like what he does sometimes. Of course, he's also one of those guys that hate Joshua. And we know him and Wilder have, a big rivalry. It's just part of boxing, I guess. Wilder, is now my Nigerian brother, so I have to defend Wilder at all costs. At the same time, we have to give Dillian White his props, his due credit. Okay, I'm calling the guys right now to join me. And we have to give him his credit, because this guy has had nothing but hard fights. This guy has fought nothing but good opponents. Let's see if we can get our brother on here, though. Let's see if we get him on here to join us. Shout out to Moses Inogeru. Hello, Ta Jagbe. How you doing, brother? Is he there? Ta, you there? Yeah, you still here, bro.
Yeah, what's going on, bro?
Yeah, man, everything is good, brother.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro. How's everything out there?
Good.
So you heard what happened, right? Dillian White has sued the We Be Crooks, aka WBC. I'm not a guy. Listen, people always say that belt, WBC, is the most prestigious belt in boxing and all this kind of stuff. Bro, I just feel like I value the WBA than the WBC, even though the WBA also have, their own, their own craziness in a way, how they create different belts like crazy, like you don't even know who's champion. If Joshua wasn't the champion, it would be, some people like Trevor Bryan will be calling himself a champion, even though he's a regular champion, but he would call himself the real champion because that was the first belt that was created before the super champion was created in a way. Now, the rumors. First of all, before I go into that, what's your take on this, on hearing that Dillian White sued? the WBC, aka will be Crooks?
I'm glad Dillian White is doing that. I do believe WBC is a crook. Mauricio being the board, being one of the board members of the WBC, I believe he's a crook himself. I'm not too sure what channel it was, but they asked him they asked him a certain question, and he quickly tried to deny it and logged off. You know, I thought that was pretty funny, and it just shows the level of corruption that Mauricio Sulaiman holds and the way he does things when it comes to fights. Listen, Dillian White, you may not be a fan of Dillian White. I'm sure I'm not a fan of Dillian White, but I do respect him though when it comes to certain things he does or certain standards when it does it in the appropriate way. But when it comes to uh, 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 rules and regulations, they need to honestly be straight up and do these things by the books, and they gotta follow a certain regulations, rules and regulations. Because if they don't, it's that means they could do anything they want, and it's boxing, man. There's too much corruption in boxing already. The boxing fans want to see the right things being done, regardless of who your favoritism is. You just have to do the right thing. And Mauricio Sulaiman has been playing Dillian White. First, he said, "Listen, it doesn't matter if Dillian White was lost his match. He won that match again, and he became mandatory. It doesn't matter if Dillian White. People said Wilder could beat Dillian White. Let that fight happen. He's the mandatory. Let that fight happen and get it over with. Much like how Pulev was an annoying occurrence to AJ, and him being the mandatory, it wouldn't go away. He had to do it. AJ had to fight and fulfill that mandatory. Much like how he's doing with Usyk. Eventually, this mandatory. These guys are actually what I like about these other guys, these other sanctioning bodies, is they're actually following the rules and sanctioning the fight and making it mandatory for AJ to fight, to actually fight. But for some reason, with Mauricio Sulaiman, he changes his mind. Oh, Dillian White has to fight this guy. Dillian White has to, or Dillian White has to do this. All right, Dillian White did it. He did what he did. Just give him the shot and get him out the way. Because listen, as much as we are tired of Dillian White too, just give him his title shot and get it out the way. Right? That's the whole point of fighting a mandatory. If the champion believes in himself, let him fight Dillian White and get him out the way, regardless of if he's going to knock out the opponent or not. If you believe in yourself that much, you're going to go in that fight and knock him out and get him out the way. But for some reason, it's I can knock him out. I don't want to fight him. Where is the B sample? No, I don't want to hear that, man. I'm tired of Dillian White. I'm tired of Mauricio Sulaiman. I'm tired of everything that they're doing, man. Get these mandatories out the way, because these mandatories are what's preventing future future fights, big fights, right? The more you prolong them, the more when the opportunity comes for big fights to happen, the more the mandatory comes in the way. And now Dillian White is calling a shot, is willing to sue the Mauricio Sulaiman, one of the board members of the WC organization in general. Now, if he wins, much like how Wilder took them to court, now we're gonna have more delays. Now we're gonna have more delays in the division just because of Mauricio Sulaiman. First, he said he has to fight Povetkin. He fought Povetkin. He lost, but there was a rematch clause. He won. Stop saying no. He's not a mandatory anymore. No, man. The mandatory position is still in place, regardless, man. That's how that works. And you can't keep changing the rules however you want fit. It's still the mandatory position. But Mauricio Sulaiman feels like he's higher than the belt. To me, it seems like that belt has the meaning for that belt. All the greats that held it is basically there's no meaning to it anymore. Basically, that's like one of the best organizations, sanctioning bodies in the division. But the more corruption there is in boxing, the meaningless that belt is. Right now, it'll be funny right now if certain athletes would be like, you know what, we don't care about the belts no more, man. The belt is just a piece of leather strapped around your waist, over your shoulder, slumped over your shoulder. It's just a piece of leather. What really counts is big fights and the audience and the money that goes into our pockets. Because the sanctioning bodies are not doing anything for the fighters, believe it or not. They're not. At the end of the day, what these fans remember is the fight that happened in that ring. Who won in that ring? That's what people remember. Who threw what punch in that ring? What name goes on years and years? What name is being spoken years and years in regarding that fight? At the end of the day, that's what matters, man. If you think about it, that organization, these sanctioning bodies are nothing but crooks and money-hungry crooks, especially Mauricio Sulaiman with his pyramid schemes of boxing belts. At the end of the day, it's just these fighters that matter, not these belts, man. That's where I'm gonna end it.
Thanks, brother. I do appreciate that statement coming from you, bro. Let's go with that on here. Adewale.
What's up, bro? Hello? Yeah, I'm good, man. I believe you're talking about the mandatory situation in the heavyweight division, WBC, that is surrounded around Dillian White, Andrew Ruiz, Luis Ortiz, right? Is that what it is? Yeah. Okay. I listened to TY. Okay, so Dillian White actually sued WBC. Is that what happened? If okay, you know what? I don't really believe that any of that happened. But let me start off with, I love the way TY broke down the situation. I completely agree with him. But also, you need to know some information. This is the part that I slightly disagree with TY. Because if you follow the WBC's rulings, their governing sanction, the rulings that governs the sanctioning body, WBC, they have their silver title, diamond title, interim title, the full world champion, and the mandatory position. The clause that this is quote unquote mandatory position is not guaranteed if you have any one of those other secondary or tertiary titles. That's where the problem is. So I really don't know who advised Dillian to accept an interim championship status if he beats Povetkin in the rematch, because that has put him in a bad position. Him being the interim title makes him not the mandatory. I actually did some research on this. I checked out the WBC's website. All the articles are on the website. So if Dillian takes them to court, that would actually be foolish of him because he's not going to win. All the lawyers are going to say is they will present the documents from the WBC's website and prove to the judge that this guy has an interim title, and for that reason, he's not the mandatory. Fine, we understand Dillian White should have fought for the WBC title.
Let me tell you one, bro.
No
I know you
But
are
he
bad.
put himself in that position.
Wait, hold on. I know you are biased towards Dillian White. I'm not a Dillian White fan, but in this scenario, we have to listen. You are saying white, you are trying to swerve it to become black. Now, in a sane society, or in a sane organization, in a sane community, once that Wilder Fury fight got cancelled due to COVID-19, okay, in a sane governing body, Dillian White being the interim, that's him being the vice president, like the vice president. If the president is not, mentally equipped enough to do his duty, who is the next in charge? Who should take his position? The vice president. Tyson Fury knowingly tricked us, led us on, told us lies that he had COVID-19. Tricking all of us, pretending to have the virus, a virus that has killed so many people, it's not a joke. These guys let us on. How can you say you have COVID-19 3 days later you're fine? That's not how it works, man. I'm yet to contract the virus, but I know people that have contracted the virus, and it's not a virus to joke with, bro. Okay, it has killed so many people. So how can you say all of a sudden 3 days later you're good, bro? As soon as Tyson Fury, had no intention to fulfill his duty as a champion, the person in line is Dillian White. WBC, and it is the WBC's job to say, okay, now listen, Dillian Fury, you say you have COVID-19, this, okay, now Dillian White, you are the interim champion going in. You see what I'm saying? So why did they do that? Why didn't they do that? So you can come in, but you're not being straight, bro. Right now, your hate for Dillian White is showing right now. I understand you don't like Dillian White.
Okay.
I understand that, but let's be fair here. Let's be fair here, bro.
Okay. Now, what you're trying to do is you're trying to goad me emotionally. That's not how it works in the court. In the court, you come with facts, presentation of documents that exist, that governs whatever you're arguing against. Dillian White cannot win that court case. I do not like Dillian White for any reason. I dislike that guy completely. And that doesn't mean that I don't want Dillian White to fight for the title. Don't get it twisted. I want Dillian White to fight Deontay Wilder for the title right now. Forget about Tyson Fury. I don't even believe that he is going to fight Deontay in the trilogy. I don't believe it. Until they get in the ring, I don't believe Fury is getting in that ring with Wilder. So right now, if I had a wish, make Wilder and White fight for the title right now. That's what I want. Also, I said it earlier, I don't like Dillian White, no doubt. And for that reason, I'm being more logical here. You might think, you don't like White, so you're sentimental. No. If Dillian White goes to the court today, there is nothing he can do. There is no reasonable lawyer that should accept that case because he's wasting his money. The interim title automatically strips you of the mandatory spot. That's how it is. You're saying in a regular world, in a normal, sane society, the judge doesn't care about that. The judge cares about documents that you bring to present as an evidence that backs up what you're arguing for. So White, WBC is garbage. I have no respect for the sanctioning body. I'll tell you the truth. I don't even care about any sanctioning bodies. All these guys, they don't care about the fighters. They just want to make their money. WBC is extremely corrupt. Well, maybe not as corrupt as the WBO. WBO is like Bob Arum's belt and Frank Warren's belt. It's their fighters that get those titles. So that is the most corrupt organization in my opinion. IBF and WBA are slightly more. WBA is trash too, man. They're all garbage, man. IBF might be the best amongst all 4 sanctioning bodies. With that being said, Dillian White, I want him to fight for the title, but he put himself in this position. We can't deny the fact that this guy turned down title fight against Anthony Joshua for 3 titles. He turned it down. He was like, "Oh, it's too small. The money is too small." He turned down an opportunity to fight Kubrafilev to become the IBF mandatory. He turned that down.
Bro, we know all those things. Listen, we know all those things. We know all those things. Okay, we know all those things. But listen. If he had fought Anthony Joshua and if he had taken the fight, believe you me, like, do you know that all those guys, for you to be ranked by a sanctioning body, you have to pay sanctioning fees. You know that? You know that?
Yes.
So if he had taken that fight against Joshua, of course he would have made millions, 5 million. But at the same time, what about the money he's been paying the WBC? You know, to be ranked by them and to be number one, because when you're number one, like, you pay sanctioning fees, bro. When was the last time? Okay, let me ask you one thing. When was the last time WBC issued a mandatory for their title? And when they did, against who? Like
Wilder Dominic Brazil was a mandatory fight.
Dominic Brazil and Bemen Steven. Like, was Bemen Steven supposed to be mandatory? Listen, was Bemen Steven supposed to be mandatory?
Yes, according to the WBC rules. Yes, he was.
According to the WBC rules. Someone that they didn't fight for 2 years. That you think that is normal? That is normal, right? In your opinion.
Like I said earlier, don't make it look like I'm trying to defend the WBC. I'm not. I don't care about the WBC. It is a fraudulent organization as far as I'm concerned. But what I'm telling you is that Dillian White contributed to his situation. Why did he accept to fight for an interim title after in the Alexander Povetkin rematch? Is he not smart enough to, even if he doesn't know how to read the information on WBC website, can't his lawyer advise him against taking that title? Why didn't he just say, okay, I'm fighting Alexander Povetkin for nothing? How about that? If you fought Povetkin for nothing, you will probably be ranked number 2 in the WBC today. That means you're going to fight Ruiz or Ortiz for the final eliminator, whatever how that works. But if you fight for a title, because this guy is just, in my opinion, Dillian White is a desperate guy, just looking for a title, without wanting to put in the work. You accepted to take the interim title in the Alexander Povetkin rematch because more than likely you were going to win that rematch. And after winning that rematch, you became the interim. And the interim position puts you in a position where you are not the mandatory. Unfortunately, was he not smart enough to realize that when he was taking that title? Nobody forced him to become the interim. He chose to take the interim.
Well, are you really serious right now?
The interim, to my knowledge, is the interim, to my knowledge, is a position for the mandatory, right? As what from the past. These guys have the WBC has sanctioned interim titles to determine the mandatory in the past. That's what my problem is. Yes, you're right. They can't decide to take it away, but they can't keep doing that. Is what I have. They need to stick with what they have and continue sticking with it. I'm tired of these guys trying to find loopholes within the system to where, for instance, where someone like Ortiz could be mandatory twice. That doesn't make sense to me. You lost. Let somebody else get the title shot. It doesn't make sense to me.
Now, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something right now, bro.
Why?
Okay, Ty, finish first because I want to say something right now about the Ortiz, because the conspiracy or the rumor is that the WBC is trying to position Ruiz Jr. and Ortiz to fight each other, and the winner becomes mandatory. Like because we know the WBC favors fighters of Mexican descent. We know that. I'm not gonna blame him. I think because America, if you look at all the sanctioning bodies right now, Where are they located? Where does their power lie? In America. Mauricio Sulaiman might be from, he might have a Mexican heritage or something like that, but without America, like, the WBC wouldn't really mean shit, in a way. That's a fact. Same as WBO. WBO Mendoza is a Latin guy, you know? But without America, the US, it wouldn't be shit. Now, I think it would have been nice. Is there any, listen, even the IBF is run by an African American, if I'm not mistaken, right? Am I lying? Yeah, I think the president of IBF is an African American, right? And you see the decision he makes. The decision he makes are always very, sensible. Very, like, accurate. He takes decisions that benefit, boxing. Even though sometimes some mandatory might look like unnecessary, but they try to enforce their mandatory. Like, listen, once IBF don't play around, bro. So you see the difference between like an organization run by an African American who knows boxing, whose whose ancestors, like, or whose kings have ruled boxing, like they've ruled boxing. If not for the fact that America, gave up on heavyweight division. The heavyweight division right now died in the Mike Tyson era, in the Holyfield era. But if they didn't give up, I think you having all those guys like those superstars, megastars like we have now. Although the Britain has taken over the heavyweight division, and because Britain now put in the work, Joshua brought the heavyweight division back, okay. And Tyson Fury, of course, Deontay Wilder also added to it, but Wilder wasn't really respected like that. He's still not respected by so many people, though. Now, what I'm trying to say right here now, I'm not trying to discriminate, but look at the organization run by an African American and look at the organization run by Latin people. You see you see corruption in WBC. Why are you saying that? Why do you say WBC favor Mexicans over any other fighter? Has WBC ever given any African fighter a chance? Like the way they're giving the Latin American fighters chance? No. So we are talking about ethnicity as well here. As much as it's political as well, it's also an listen, I love Canelo. I love his fight, but at the same time, let's not get it twisted. That clam butero, okay, that meat, that Mexican meat. If it were to be an African fighter, but believe you me, they strip that. They will like, he will never get a chance anymore. This is what we are talking about right now. The WBC is one, like, I don't want to call it tribe because, they are not tribes, I would say WBC is biased. It's biased towards Latin fighters. I would say Hispanic fighters. Latin boy from Italy. Yeah, Hispanic fighters. This is what I'm saying right here. I'm not talking about racism here. It's not racism, but it's just like the guy just biased towards his own because he's from there. Let's keep it right here. So that is why I used to respect the WBC. When his father was in that position, he did like everything according to how it should be done. Okay, that's a fact. He did it. He tried it. He made it possible for so many fighters to have, to get opportunity to fight for titles, to compete in the highest, caliber. But his son, Mauricio, is doing the opposite, being very, like, biased, one-sided, giving chance to some certain people, like the Latin fighters, before you give to the American fighters, maybe some American fighters. It depends. And Ruiz Jr. is ranked how many year? Second. Is Andrew Jr. supposed to be here? No. Why do you think Andrew Jr. is here? Why do you think Andrew Jr. is here? He's ranked second by WBC. Why? Because he's a Latin fighter, okay, or a Mexican with American with Mexican descent. That's the reason why he's here. Okay, in a sane governing body, and really not supposed to be here. Forget about being a champion, beating Joshua. Man, he's not supposed to be here. Yeah, come in, bro.
Okay, Andrew Ruiz is not in a bad spot, in my opinion, because he lost after being a world champion. He lost and came back. He beat Chris Arreola, that was also ranked in the top 10, top 15. So
you mean a washed up Arreola
being positioned?
Yeah, position like
a washed up. Yeah, it was washed up. Definitely washed up.
A washed up that dropped him, right?
Oh yeah.
Why wasn't?
Well, he still won the fight.
Why wasn't Ruiz Jr.? Why wasn't Ruiz Jr. man enough to fight for Jagba?
Okay, how about we put it this way? If Ruiz does not deserve the second position, who deserves to be in that position?
Well, who deserves to be in that position? Very good. I think Joe Joyce deserves to be in that position. I think Michael Hunter deserves to be in that position.
Over Ruiz?
Yes, bro. Yes. I'm telling you right now.
No, they don't. They've never been champions.
Well, because they've never been champions.
They've never been champions.
Okay, now because regional been champion for 6 months.
They've never been champions.
Is that champion for you?
Ruiz was a champion
for 6 months. For 6 months.
It's still a champion, bro.
Champion for 6 months.
It's still registered in his history.
Bro, Ruiz.
That guy is the first Mexican heavyweight of all time.
He's not Mexican heavyweight. He's a Mexican American. It's two different things. You know, the guy was born in America. What do you make? What do you think?
No, you're moving the goalpost.
Bro, we are talking about this right. Listen, is the first Mexican American.
That man has a Mexican citizenship.
So, if he does,
that man has a Mexican citizenship. So for that reason, if he chooses to identify as a Mexican, then he can be a Mexican.
Yeah.
If he chooses to identify as a Mexican
American, the guy is a Mexican American. Forget about that.
So if he chooses to identify as the first Mexican heavyweight of all time, then so be it. We don't need to be moving the goalposts because now you're being biased.
I'm not moving. Listen, I have to be biased because
I understand I am biased.
Mauricio Sulaiman is biased towards our people. So what do you expect me to do? Like, listen, I told you, I just gave you an example. Like, look at how the IBF is run. IBF is run by an African American. Look at how it is run. Do you see any biasness by the IBF? No. Everybody get a fair chance.
Man.
The BBC has turned into a drug cartel. That's what they've turned into. Where you put Andrews Jr. Listen, what is Luis Ortiz doing here right now? What is he doing here? Let's keep it right here. What is Luis Ortiz doing? Why does have to be here in this place right now? We know that. What is Ortiz doing here? Is he a Manchester?
What position is
3? Is he a former world champion? Yeah, number 3.
Okay. Who should be ranked higher than him?
Is Ortiz supposed to be higher than Joe Joyce? Oh, okay. Let's say let's say Joseph Parker.
Bro, what has Joe Joyce done?
Let me just say,
what has Joe Joyce done?
What has Joe Joyce done, bro? Joe Joyce is the most decorated. Listen, Joe Joyce is not mature, and
we're talking about in the pros. Because that's what the WBC ranks you based on.
Now, should we not compare resume? Let's remove Wilder and Brand Jennings because we know Ortiz popped. We know what he did, huh? He's been popped already before. You know that, okay?
Yes.
He's a drug head. Now, he's a druggie. Now, let's compare their resume right now. Let's remove Deontay Wilder and Brand Jennings. Let's look at who they fought. And then you will know that Joe Joyce deserves to be in Ortiz's place. Joseph Parker deserves to be in the second place right here because he's a former world champion. And he was not champion for only 6 months. So just because Andrews Jr. beat Anthony Joshua and reigned for 6 months, then you put this guy, this bag of rice in a second position? Over Joseph Parker?
Okay, hold on. Who did Joseph Parker beat after losing his world title?
Who did Andrews Jr. beat after losing to Joshua? Chris Arreola.
He has only had one.
Chris Ariola.
He has only had one fight, bro. He has only had one fight, bro.
Bro,
it's just one fight the man has had.
The truth is that Ruiz
This is like saying
Ruiz is not supposed to be in this
should
position.
not be number 1. He should be like number 5 because he lost to Tyson Fury.
Wilder should be number 1. You know why? Wilder reigned for 5 years. And for 5 good years, he reigned as a champion. And Ruiz Jr. reigned for 6 months. 6 months. Ruiz Jr. is a one-hit wonder.
Bro, let's be honest. Ruiz did not even reign for 6 months. He just won the title and lost the title. The guy was, let's be honest, he wasn't really a solid champion, right?
Yeah.
But he was still a champion. You can't take that away from him.
Bro. The thing is that
the bottom line is this conversation is about Dillian White.
Bro, it's about Dillian White, right? And we also have to outline the biasness, okay, of the WBC. Like, what is going on?
No doubt, man. WBC is biased, man. Boxing is a corrupt sport in general. We can't just blame WBC. Boxing is corrupt.
This is why I say
broadcasters are corrupt. The promoters are corrupt.
Listen.
It's a very corrupt sport in general. It's a dirty game.
Now, let's take Charles Martin for example.
You understand, bro?
Charles Martin. Let's take Charles Martin for example. Charles Martin is ranked number 12 in the WBC rankings. Okay, in number 12. Yoka is ranked over Charles Martin. Why do you think Charles Martin is why do you think he's where he is right now? Answer that if you can. Sanchez is ranked over Charles Martin.
I can't answer it because WBC is a weird organization, man. Bro, listen, man. You need to understand that we're on the same point when it comes to WBC. It is a corrupt organization. I'm with you on that. But when it comes to Dillian White and his mandatory shots, man, to hell with the guy, bro. Whatever happens. I want the best to fight the best. I want Wilder White, Wilder Fury, Wilder Joshua White. Everybody should mix it up. That's what I want as a boxing fan. But Dillian White will lose the case if it goes to the courts.
Let me tell you one thing.
Really, that's the fact.
Let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you one.
The lawyers are going to get the documents, and the documents will prove against Dillian White.
Let me tell you one thing, bro. Listen. You're saying what you think you know, but you don't know. You are just saying what you think you know. You are reading rules that they don't follow, rules that the league don't follow. Dillian White is.
So are you telling me now that if Dillian White takes WBC,
Dillian White, bro, they already. Of course, he will win it, bro. They will win it.
Do you want us to bet?
Do you
want us to bet?
Oh, how much you want to bet? I'm ready to buy 1,000 euro. Let's bet. He wins it. If you want now,
we can 1,000 euros. That's too much money for me.
We can bet it.
I'm not bragging. I don't have 1,000 euros to waste. That's too much money for me.
Oh, to waste. But if you're that confident, let's go there. At least one of us will. At least one of us will use that money to do something. Okay, you can't afford it. Okay, now.
I know if you afford it. I know if you afford that money.
Also, okay, you can't afford it. Okay, now. Okay. When you're ready to afford it, let's bet for it. No, bro. I'm telling this guy right here that Dillian White has the legal backings, okay, and documents to back.
How
bro, what do you mean? What do you mean by how, bro?
Okay, explain. Because I just explained to you why he cannot win the case. The thing is that the interim is not the mandatory. The
thing is that you are listen. If we start bringing some instances, some instances where the WBC have not even followed their own rules before. Why do you think Teofimo Lopez and WBC? I think they had problem, right? Recently. You know,
because the WBC is a fraud, man. Bro, we all.
This is what I'm telling you right now.
Not winning that case.
They are calling. Listen, in your opinion, is Teofimo Lopez undisputed champion?
Undisputed my ass. Devin has the WBC title. How is he
okay. Why was the franchise bet created?
To protect Lomachenko and Canelo.
It was Canelo, not Lomachenko, bro. Canelo. That's why it was created. Not for Lomachenko. Lomachenko is from Eastern Europe, bro.
Lomachenko also took advantage. Bro, Have you forgotten that Lomachenko was the first franchise champion before
he took
Teofimo?
advantage, but the target was Canelo, not Lomachenko. He might have used that as
That's true, bro. You got to remember that
the target was Canelo, not Lomachenko. Who care about Lomachenko? Canelo is the money man. Okay, the money man.
Lost, and then he turned it around and said it doesn't mean you can't lose the belt, and that's how Lomachenko.
Yeah, man. WBC flip flops, man. It's a corrupt organization, man.
So
without a doubt, man.
Listen,
I want Dillian White to fight for the title, man. Just like everybody else.
I'm still gonna tell you right now. Looking at this rankings right here, you cannot have a bag of fries like Ruiz Jr. here in second. You cannot
stop it, man.
Bro, forget about it. You cannot have him here because until he proves himself, how can you win a title just for 6 months and you reign for 6 months and you are ranked number 2 in the WBC? That's bullshit.
What I personally would say,
you cannot even you're not supposed to listen. You're not supposed to have a Grandpa Ortiz here as well. And it's all right. Grandpa Ortiz has to go to number 6.
No, I'm taking him completely off the freaking rankings.
Oh yeah, good. Now you see now. Yes, okay. What? Listen, Ortiz has fought for the title twice, right? And he didn't win it, right? He wasn't able to defeat Wilder. Now, like normally you have to remove him. You have to remove him. You know, and Ruiz Jr. has fought for it twice. He didn't win it once, and then he tried the second time and got lucky against Joshua, and he did. Okay, the bag of rice reigned for 6 months. Now, Egovic, why not giving Egovic chance? Why you not giving Efe Ajagba chance? Why you not giving Joe Joyce chance? I think Parker, what has he done since losing to Joshua? He's fought some good names, but Parker hasn't really.
Man, no.
Parker has been. Parker, you know, his last performance was a lackluster one. So I think you should take him to number 10. Now Charles Martin deserves to be number 12 right here, even though he's a former world champion, IBF champion. Yes, you were saying when I told you when I asked you why was Ruiz Jr. ranked number 2? Why does he deserve to be there? You say he's a former world champion. Charles Martin is also a former world champion. Or don't you consider the guy a world champion?
Man, the guy lost, man. Martin's lost, bro. Martin's lost to some terrible people.
Yeah.
He lost to Kaunauki, man.
Carlos Takam, suppose I don't know about Carlos Takam being number 14 here, but that's a good position for him though. But what I'm trying to say right here is that Dillian White. Listen, I'm not saying that. Listen, Dillian White's advantage is the fact that as soon as that Fury Wilder fight, the trilogy got cancelled due to Tyson Fury pretending to have COVID-19. First thing first, White should have taken his place. That's a fact. The winner will then fight Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury should have been made champion in recess. Okay, the winner of that fight.
I actually agree with you on that one.
This is what should have happened. So I told you, I'm telling you right now, right, that White has a case. He has a case. You know how many days did he wait? You are saying, he should have taken the Joshua fight. Yes, he should have. But remember,
you said how many days did he wait? What do you mean? How many days did he wait?
The guy waited for more than 1,000 days, right?
Waited for what?
Yeah, for Madrid shot, right?
He was given the shot. He didn't take it.
He wasn't given the shot. He was asked to fight Ortiz.
He was ranked. Yes. Why didn't he fight Ortiz?
Why should he fight Ortiz?
That will give him the mandatory position.
Bro, forget about that.
If he fought Ortiz,
bro, that was just
if he fought Ortiz, Wilder wouldn't be fighting Ortiz the second time.
Bro, lie's a lie. That's a lie. Believe you me. The WBC have always listen. Right now, we're looking at Tyson Fury right now, situation right now. When was the last time Fury fought?
Bro, Fury is just a fraud, man. That guy
I'm just saying. When was the last time he fought? Last year, December, right? Oh, last year, February.
He fought 18 months ago.
Yeah, last year, February. Sorry, I said December. I just fought for December. Last year, February. 18 months ago, right? Now, let's take a look at Fury right now. So, are you telling me that a champion can be a champion for a whole 18 months and not defend a title? Is that normal? Is that like logical in your opinion?
Of course, that's bullshit, man. But that's what we have, man.
This is
Frezoquendo was their silver champion or some shit for like 3 years. This guy hadn't fought in 3 years, and he was still the champion.
This is why
all the sanctioning bodies are garbage, bro.
This is why as soon as Fury pulled out of that water fight, the next in line should have been Dillian White. Simple as ABC.
Let me tell you, bro. I'm not even arguing with that.
So stop saying stop saying that he doesn't have a case.
He's not going to win the case. He doesn't have a case. Bro, do you not understand how law and all this stuff works? The judiciary system.
Bro,
it's the facts that you present. The only fact that the WBC has here is that the interim title does not guarantee you a mandatory spot, and there is no way Dillian White can beat that in the courts. He can go ahead and go to the court and waste his money. He's not going to win, period. And he deserves to lose that court case too, because he was one of the people that contributed to the delay of the unification of the heavyweight division. They put him in there to be the middleman between Wilder and Joshua. When Wilder and Joshua both had the titles, they were going to fight for undisputed. Dillian White was barking all around, Wilder, fight me! Wilder, fight me! No, Wilder, fight me! You're ducking me for 600 days! And all the fans believed it. 600 days? When did Wilder ever duck this guy? Was he ever the mandatory? If the guy was the mandatory and Wilder refused to fight him, that is a duck. But it wasn't a mandatory, but the fans believed the bullshit that the guy was spreading out there, and they lied on Wilder for that reason. So I don't like Dillian White. He deserves to be waiting in limbo.
Well, you can say you don't like Dillian White. It's one thing to say, I don't like this person, but it's another thing to see something that is just. Justice should be done. We have to execute justice. We cannot have all those guys, like Fury, for example, not defending his title for 18 months now. Like, how can you call yourself a champion or true champion defense title? Like these guys are holding this belts hostage, bro. That's why my champion remains Anthony Joshua. Joshua is the only champion I see right now. Okay? Because he's the guy that is making it. Listen, Joshua always brings light to the heavyweight division. When other people are fighting bombs and want to fight low-level opponents or fight or cherry-pick fights, Joshua always go for the best. Now, Joshua's next fight, just look at his resume alone. Look at his resume. Look at his resume, bro.
Joshua always went for the best. Why did he fight?
Bro, this Adewale again. Now, Adewale, do you want to go there right now?
No. You guys.
Do you want to go there right now? Adewale, do you want to go there right now? Yes or no? Just say I want to go there right now. Tell me. Say BBC. I want to go there.
No, I don't want to go there.
Oh, you don't want to go there.
BBC, so I do not want to go there because it's going
good.
It's going to be an unending argument. There is no point.
No, there's no unending argument right here. There's no unending argument because the facts are there to prove it wrong.
You don't want to go there. You can't say you don't want to go there and then you go there. You can't say that. If you want to go there, you don't. But you can't say you don't want to go there and then go there. Do you know what I mean?
Now you are saying that. Listen, Joshua's resume Joshua's resume is superior than Wilder and Fury resume combined. The facts are there to prove it. What are you saying, bro? What are you saying? Like, let's keep it right here.
What's the topic of this conversation? What's the topic?
Well, it's about Dillian Whyte suing WBC for fake promises with Crooks. You know.
Oh wow! Dillian Whyte suing them, yeah.
Yeah, bro. And Adewale is saying he will never win that legal case because he doesn't have a case. Yeah. What do you mean? What's the reaction, bro?
I mean, well, I think if Dillian is, to be honest, my honest opinion is Dillian had a better case before losing to Povetkin. Like, it's a bit more difficult now because WBC can say whatever the hell they want now. They can just say, like, you lost that spot and you're back in the pecking order. We know realistically, like, we know, like, practically that's not the case, but theoretically, they can say that. They can say that. Do you know what I mean? So, like, I think it's going to be difficult, but obviously for his legal team to be pushing forward to that position. This is going to cost him a whole load of money. They must have already kind of worked out what the strategy is and looked at the potentiality of them coming out of this on top. That's all I can think. Dillian's my guy, you don't know that, innit? And if I have any chance to argue with Adewale, I would take it up. But I think, you know, it's going to be a difficult case, in my opinion, for Dillian to come out on top. Like, what was the basis of the suit on? Like, what based on what?
Bro, we're gonna take a look at it right here. Based on the fact that, yeah, he was supposed to be made mandatory a long time ago. So
yeah, you can say
he wasn't.
Yeah, but he can say he's supposed to be made mandatory.
Let me tell you one thing right now. Let me tell you one thing. Like that, Dillian White took that Povetkin fight, voluntarily, right? It wasn't mandated by WBC, was it? It wasn't, right? Yeah. So that's also the case, that, bro. I'm telling you right now, he took that fight because he wanted to stay busy. Like, oh, but just to push back on that, when Dillian White took that fight, correct me if I'm wrong, but he also was not now before that fight, he would have had a better chance of some. Don't get me wrong, but before he took that fight, technically he was not the mandatory. He was number one, but he was not mandatory. So him not losing that fight now even makes it even more difficult for him to come back and say mandatory. Like, we hadn't even made you a mandatory at that stage. So what's your case on? It's not as if we made you mandatory then, and you're not coming back saying, well, look, I beat that guy, so I should reclaim my spot. No, you went mandatory. After Povetkin beat you, the WBC did not make him mandatory at any point. So, like, was this, like I said, look, his legal team would have looked at the parameters and decided, you know what, we're going to pursue this anyway. But it's a difficult case. So now let's look at it. Bro, based on? Bro, let's look at it this way right now. Let's be very frank right here. What do you make of the fact that we are looking at like WBC are strategizing something right now. They are now trying to pin Ruiz Jr. versus Ortiz, the winner of that to become the mandatory. Is that just for you?
Mandatory for what?
Bro, for the title,
mandatory for what?
For the title. They are number 2, number 3. This is what I'm saying.
There must be so much going on that I fucking missed out on. So hang on, are you telling me that Ruiz and Ortiz are fighting for the mandatory spot?
Like he hasn't announced yet. That's the
what the WBC has said, or that's what we're assuming?
That's the rumor. That's the rumor going on right now, bro.
That's the rumor.
Because you cannot just. What's the reason for that? What's the reason?
I think that's going to be different.
What's the reason they have Ruiz as number 2 and Ortiz as number 3? What do you think is the reason? Don't you see something is fishy right here? PBC, don't you see what's going on? And you know, bro, we know what's going on right here.
That's why Dillian's obviously trying to sue them. Yeah, there's something fishy. There's something fishy, 100%. There's something fishy. Like PBC, if you look at, going back to what Dawali talking about Deontay Wilder, look at the way he hugged the belt. Obviously, WBC are affiliated with PBC. Like, there's some sort of connection there, because they allow these guys to just fucking hug the belt and do whatever the fuck they want with it. So it doesn't surprise me that there's something dodgy going on. That doesn't surprise me, no. But I don't see how Ortiz. But who's number 1 though? Dillian's number 1, surely. Where's Dillian in that?
What is number 1? Wilder's number 1. Dillian is
yeah, shit. Wilder. So what? They put Wilder number 1, and then they put Luis Ortiz is number 2 after his last fight. That he beat Areola. That's what makes him number 2 over Dillian.
You mean Ruiz?
No, that's what I'm saying. Sorry, Ruiz. How's Ruiz number 2 after being Areola? Who the fuck is Areola, bro? Like, no disrespect.
We are telling you right now. We are telling you something right now. You're arguing. This is a biased ranking right here. And this is a ranking.
100%. I haven't even heard about the ranking, bro. That's why I come in a different.
Let me tell you the rankings right now. Let me tell you WBC rankings, right? Should I go through it? Let me tell you. Tyson Fury is a champion. Dillian White, the interim champion. Wilder number 1. Ruiz number 2. Ortiz in number 3. Parker number 4. Joe Joyce number 5. Hunter 6. Kabaye 7. Ajagba 8. Egovic 9. Yoka 10. Sanchez 11. Charles Martin 12. Chisora 13. And Takam is 14. Bakole is in 15.
Wow, they got Ray Joshua. Joshua's on the ranking.
Yeah, man. WBC ranking right here. So why
That's
is
right.
what?
Okay, cool. So I don't see the problem with that ranking. I mean, from a Dillian White standpoint, they've made him interim.
Oh, you don't see the problem with Andrew not being number 2 in the ranking.
No, but I'm talking about Dillian White purely from a Dillian White standpoint. They've made him interim, right?
Made him interim. So
he's
now
ahead of all those guys.
Now, ahead of all those guys. Let me shock you right now. Let me shock you right now. Do you know? Like I'm telling you right now that the WBC, the PBC are working out some deal to make the winner of Ruiz Ortiz the mandatory, trying to make a fight between both. Okay. Now, the reason why I have a problem with this is that Ortiz is not supposed to be in this position because he already contested for the title twice and he lost. Okay, now he has to go way back and work his way up, right? Work his way up. Ortiz, Ruiz, reigned for 6 months. Okay, got dethroned by Joshua Joshua in the rematch. So in a logical sense, he's supposed to go back to the pecking order, right? Work his way up. Let the other guys take the position and prove themselves. That's what it should be about, right? I mean, if you're being fair right here.
Yep.
Now, Dillian White is the interim. Dillian White is just interim, it's like a show. You know, just say, oh, I made it the interim. You're the interim champion. That's for show. You know, because why do I say it's for show? When that fight got cancelled, Wilder Fury trilogy, White should have, as the interim champion, meaning the vice president. When a president is not fulfilling his or her duty, what do? When a president is ill or not able to fulfill, the vice president take over. Just like, let me make an example of Buhari. You know, Buhari, when he was ill at some point, who took over? Osibajo took over, as you know, until he recovered. You know, now Fury, the big problem right here, Fury last time he fought, like February 18. Is it February 18 or 22? February 18 or so. Yeah, last time he fought was February last year. Last year, February. Now calculate the months. Like a champion is supposed to defend his title within 6 months. Okay, you know what I mean? That's a fact. Okay, now we can say, oh, COVID-19. What about December? Didn't Joshua fight in December, despite the COVID-19 rules or whatsoever? Didn't Joshua fight in December? This is what I'm saying. The biggest star in the heavyweight division, fought.
If you're asking me if the WBC is corrupt, you know what my answer is to that. I don't think anyone can say they're not. Like straight up, they're corrupt. I'm just talking about like the rankings. Like should Luis Ortiz be in that ranking top? Like that doesn't make sense to me. Like that just doesn't make any sense. Cool, isn't it?
Yeah, but you just said that you have no problem with the rankings. That is why I had to correct you. I had to tell you.
No, because I said from a Dillian White standpoint, I don't, because he's interim. He's in the pecking order above these other guys. Anyway, as long as Dillian gets his shot before anyone else, I don't really care about all of that because we know WBC is corrupt.
Well,
we know they're dodgy. We know
that is what you're saying. If Dillian,
shouldn't be second.
That is what you're saying right now. If Dillian White doesn't put the pressure on WBC, believe you me, listen. If he's not doing what he's doing right now, what he just did now, taking them to court, filing a legal case against the organization. Do you think they would have played with this guy and then he will fight again, maybe he will lose again? It will say, oh, you lost, bro. The WBC, Mauricio Sulaiman, aka we be Crooks, okay? I said before that the organization is biased, okay? I've said it before, and
100%.
he favor the Latin fighters more. Let's keep it right here. I'm not blaming the guy because he has a Hispanic background. I'm a Hispanic. Yeah, but I'm just saying. Listen, let me ask you this question right here. We love Canelo. He's a great fighter, no doubt. But let's go back to the Mexican meet when he failed that drug test. Do you think if it was an African fighter, no matter how big he is, you think the UFC will give him a pass?
No.
Why?
No. Why? No, I mean, not no matter how big he is. It depends. Like if he's big, they'll probably give him a pass because they're corrupt. Like Canelo is the star. Look how much money Canelo makes a fight. They get a percentage of whatever he brings in. So obviously, they don't want him out for too long a period. Like simple. Do you know what I mean? That's just corruption within boxing. That's not even for that particular situation. That's not even
let me tell you something right now. Any
one of the organizations would have done the same thing.
Jared Miller, even no matter how big Jared Miller would have been, as long as he failed that drug test, the reason wouldn't give him a pass. You know that?
Yeah, but bro, like Jared Miller was pumping himself like.
I know, like a drug. You failed a drug test. Listen, as long as you fail that drug test, there is no difference between you and Jared Miller. Or no, even if it's once or twice or whatsoever. There is not, bro. So now, is that the reason?
The only way Jared Miller could have done that is by actually injecting himself. Like there's no ifs or buts about that. So we know you definitely 100% cheated. With Canelo, yes, we know it's bullshit, but I'm saying there's a great area. There's potential. Maybe not. We could be wrong. With Jared Miller, we're like 100% injected.
We could be wrong. No,
there's a difference, bro.
There's nothing
wrong.
He
should have really been banned from the sport. Do you know what I mean?
Well, anyway, Tajagbe, come in, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Come in, brother. Do you think
hello?
Ibrahim is right? I can hear you, bro.
I missed that part. What did you say? What did everybody say? I missed that part.
Yeah, like Ibrahim is saying that Canelo is too big of a star, to get punished, by WBC. I'd say that if, for example, an African fighter were to be caught popping dirty in a way, or caught with any with a bad substance, would the WBC have given the fighter a chance?
Well, absolutely not. I mean, there's two different fighters, and one's a big star and one's not. The other sanctioning bodies might and might not let it slide depending on who the person is. At this point, I do believe Canelo. I listen. If Usada says somebody popped dirty. If these guys came out and said somebody popped dirty, they popped dirty, man. Why would they come out and say, oh, it's irregularities in your system that has been found. You know, your system should be clean at all times. That there shouldn't be any type of situations going in the system where they find irregularities in there. So I believe, you know, the guy was able to get away with that. I mean, what can they do more? It is what it is, man. You know, he was able to get away with it. He was able to get away with it. When it comes to other fighters, they're not as big as him. They're just gonna have to deal with the consequences. I do. That's what I do believe. You know, I wish I could go into more detail, but that's just how the way the sport is ran.
Okay, now let me ask you this question right here. If um Ortiz and Ruiz were to announce that they're fighting, and then the winner becomes mandatory for the winner of Wilder Fury, what will you say? How would you react?
That fight doesn't make sense. Ortiz should not be a mandatory for anybody. Ortiz should not be fighting Andrew Ruiz. I say the fight that should be made is Andrew Ruiz versus Dillian White. Dillian White wants that fight. Let the fight be made. It doesn't make sense for Ortiz to be fighting. Should be a mandatory a third time. That does not make sense at all. In what universe it doesn't make sense in boxing? In anybody's mind, it doesn't make sense, right? Because Ortiz, yet again, has yet to fight somebody prominent in boxing for me to actually believe this guy, you know, his chances weren't there, man. No, Ortiz should go up. Ortiz should go fight somebody else, maybe in the IBO, the other sanctioned bodies. You know, request a fight with them. Ortiz's last fight was really bad. You know, Andrew Ruiz's fight was terrible. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed with these guys. So I want to see Dillian White, who's been calling out Andrew Ruiz for a fight. Let that fight happen and let it guarantee a final eliminator. If Dillian White loses, that's on him. You know, that's just the way I see it. You know, he's the one who called out Andrew Ruiz. Let's make that fight happen, man. And Andrew Ruiz, the way or how the sanctioning body wants to move him up, let them move him up, man. If he loses, man, that's it. Let somebody else get a shine in there. I'm just tired of the same old guys being recycled over and over again. It shouldn't be like that. Like I said, man, these belts are terrible, and it kind of seems like it's like a pyramid scheme of belts. You know, at the end of the day, it doesn't. These belts don't matter, man. Now I kind of see what AJ means. At the end of the day, these belts don't matter. It's just the fighter that's in that ring that matters. That's fighting. You know, who who they're fighting, what punches were thrown, what happened during what round is what people will remember. These belts are just there to collect dust and collect money. That's it.
Thanks, brother. I really appreciate your take on this. So, do you, any of you guys want to add something to it before we move right here? Adewale, Ibrahim.
No, man, that's it, bro. Really, I just think because obviously, like we can only speak with the facts on the ground. Yes, the WBC is corrupt, we know that, but they have put Dillian as interim. Interim simply means anyhow Tyson Fury fucks about again, anything happens, Dillian is stepping in. They have made him interim.
Bro,
Do you know what I mean?
keep telling yourself that, bro. Keep telling yourself that. Keep telling yourself that.
Listen,
If that makes you feel happy.
I'm not under any illusion that they're not. No, bro. Listen, we're on the same page. I'm not under any illusion that the WBC are going to turn around and fuck Dillian in the ass. They've done it before. So that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying, this is the situation on the ground, right? But you can't expect the WBC right now to say, okay, Dillian, you step in and fight Deontay Wilder when they've already got a fight earmarked for October. Now we know Tyson's fucked us about, but that was Tyson, that was not his part. So if Tyson doesn't fight Deontay in thingy, legally, Deontay Wilder should be fighting Dillian White because it's interim and they're going to fight for that belt. That's where we're at. I'm not saying they're not going to do any fuckeries, but right now we can only speak on the facts on the ground, and those are the facts on the ground. Do you know what I mean? But in terms of the Ruiz Ortiz and the flipping and the Ruiz, that's just bullshit. Like, it's just bullshit. It goes back to the whole like PBC, WBC affiliation. Along with that, itching at the one is scratching or whatever it is. But like, this is what happened with the Deontay Wilder situation. They just let this guy hold that belt ransom, do whatever the fuck he wanted, avoid the fucking big fights, and just fight bums and just call him a fucking champion. Like, that's
your opinion. That's your opinion, bro. No, it's not fact. It's your opinion. But I'll let you be done. Then I'll come in.
That's fact. That's fact. Who was it for? That's fact. Who was it for? We're talking fact. We're talking facts. We're talking facts. Like, his profile, who is for, is not working for anyone to see. So that's fact. They can talk about defend this or that until they fought Tyson Fury and Ortiz. Who else is really for in the top 10 apart from Bernard's defense when they actually won the belt? You know what I'm saying? So, like, we're just talking facts. Like, this is a fact. The guy was fighting bums, and they just let him keep fighting bums. When the real names who could actually trouble them come in, he got ducked by Tyson. And Dillian White got ducked. AJ got ducked. Like, these are just facts. Like, so that's it, man. They can come
okay, bro. Please. Yeah, thanks for giving me the opportunity, man. I was just gonna say that, the way boxing is set up, where there are many promotional outfits, there are many broadcasters, there are many sanctioning bodies. Each entity has different interests, and it makes it difficult for us to see the fights that we want. That's why, like what Ty Ajagwe said, it would have been good if Dillian White versus Andy Ruiz could have been made next for the mandatory, or Dillian White takes over Tyson Fury's spot, fights Deontay Wilder for the full title. But these things can't happen because of the dynamics that I just mentioned. Different sanctioning bodies, different broadcasters. Dillian White versus Andy Ruiz.
I don't think that's why
White versus Ruiz, that would have been a good fight. But what is the interest of the PBC and Matchroom? Will they let that fight go on? All these guys probably want to fight one another, but sometimes they get advised by their promoters, their managers, not to take those fights because it is not financially beneficial for the companies. So that's what boxing is. Boxing, it's difficult for us to get the best fight to the best. And that's why 154-pound division is one of the best, in my opinion, because everybody fights everybody. And the belts constantly change hands. So it's one of my favorite divisions, 154, just because that's how it goes on there. But when it comes to the heavyweight division, where these guys make the most money, then it becomes even difficult. So at the end of the day, I want the best to mix it up. I actually want Dillian White to get exposed quickly by one of the top guys, because I know he can't beat any one of the top guys. I know that. So let him go in the ring with them. I don't mind seeing those fights. However, the way things are set up, it's going to be difficult. That's what I have to say.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate you for that.
I don't disagree with any of that, apart from I don't personally think that the reason. I don't personally think that the reason those fights are not happening, like the Dillian White and the Ruiz fight, I don't think the reason that fight is not happening is to do with like the broadcasters. I don't get that. The promotional, I don't get that. I don't like especially Andy Ruiz. Like, what's he being positioned for? Like, who's Andy Ruiz going to fight again to get big money? Like, Andy Ruiz is not going to fight Tyson Fury. Like, he's not going to fight. Maybe he can fight Deontay Wilder, cool, but like, really, the Dillian White fight is what makes the most sense for him right now to even position himself to be back in the world title state again. So I don't really think it's promotional outfits. I just think right now it's just a case of Tyson Fury. Like, that's honestly what I put it down to.
Okay, Ibrahim, you mind if I ask you one question? You remember the Wilder Joshua situation that didn't come to fruition? Do you blame that on the promotional outfits and the broadcasters as opposed to the fighters?
Yes.
Thank you. That's all I needed, because now we're on the same page. So when you go out there and be saying, why doesn't Wilder fight anybody? That's exactly why he couldn't fight Joshua, because Matchroom did not let that fight happen.
Bro, it's not that. Listen,
let him finish so I can come in. Yeah, let him finish so I can come in. Like, I don't think like you putting that on. So I've said promotional fan. You said, yeah. The reason I say that because I was actually giving Deontay Wilder an out because he could have taken his promotional outfit. Because I truly believe like the money that was being put down there, like why would he not have taken it? What do you mean Matchroom? This Matchroom is making you an offer for 120 million. All you had to do is say yes, and the deal was done. So how could Matchroom not want that fight when they're putting down offers of 120 million?
That was his own offer. That wasn't Matchroom.
Okay, fine. So why did they turn it down then? Why didn't they take that offer?
If you listen to the interview after that offer was turned in, the president of the zone apologized to Wilder that they weren't even ready. So that makes enough. That is enough explanation.
What are you on about, bro? What are you on about? That's just ridiculous. You keep making this like ridiculous statement. That's not what happened. The offer was put on the table. What he was talking about was they should have done it before because of the way things were going back and forth with Eddie Hearn. That's what they were talking about. They weren't talking about the offer. The offer was down on the table. Tim Wilder said they turned the offer down because they were talking some other shit about what's AJ getting. They turned the offer down. Not because of what you're saying, like DAZN didn't put the offer. Is that what you're saying? Like DAZN didn't actually make an offer. The offer was made. Tim Wilder turned it down. So that's not the actions of a team that doesn't want to fight because anyhow they put the offer in and Tim Wilder accepted it, they would have had to do the fight.
Okay, can you explain why Tim Joshua turned down $50 million?
Okay, yes, I can. You've asked me the question, so please don't interrupt. Let me answer this, right? Because like I've always found this like perplexing how normally intelligent people, when they come to this situation, just start acting like beyond intelligent to me. And that's not insulting to you. I just want to try and break it down. So because I think you're a business person, right? You're starting your own business. I don't know if you've got your own business right now, right? Now, for me, I do not understand how you can honestly say with your hand on your heart, if someone offers me a contract, verbally, nothing written down, tells me I've got 24 hours with no terms, so I don't know what the terms of this are going to be, and you tells me that I've got 24 hours to accept that contract that isn't a contract. You just told me something. How does that make sense to you, bro?
That's a lie.
That's a lie. So Shelley Finkel did not come out and publicly say that they've got 24 hours to accept it. Shelley Finkel did not come out to say that. Is that what you're telling me?
A week later, Deontay Wilder came out and said the offer still stands.
Yeah, but what offer? They said send us a contract. They said we're interested. Send us a contract so we can look at. That's what they kept saying.
Why are you trying to support something that you don't even have the details for? You don't have the details about this.
You're doing the same. We're talking about what we know. We're talking about the information that we do know. So let's talk about what we do know.
You just said something about 24 hours. But that 24 hours information is a lie. Because
no, but Shelley Finkel came out and said that himself. No. Well, come on. Let's be honest. Shelley Finkel came out himself and said that. That's why. No, but you're saying where the 24 hours come from. I'm telling you where that came from. Shelley Finkel said that himself. Okay, so let's say a week later, Wilder comes down and said that offer still stands. Fine. Send us the contract. Send us the contract. The offer still stands. Great. Send us the contract.
Why do you keep bringing up 24?
What are you on about? Okay, let me ask you this. No, you're not. It doesn't make sense what you're saying, but let me say this to you. So Deontay Wilder said the offer still stands. Okay, and then we said send us the contract. Where's the contract to today? Exactly. No contract was sent. No contract was sent. So what offer was being made?
No contract was sent according to you. You don't know if.
What do you mean according to me? Do you know a contract was sent? Do you know a contract was sent? Exactly. So as far as we know, Deontay Wilder hasn't said he sent a contract. He hasn't said that. But Eddie Hearn said he hasn't received the contract. So what's in the public sphere is we know what's public is that there was no contract sent. Deontay Wilder hasn't said he sent a contract.
Bro, you know what? Let it slide. Nobody's gonna win this argument.
Facts, bro. Facts.
No facts, bro.
We only speak facts. Well, we speak facts. No fiction. Facts. Facts. Work with facts.
We speak facts, isn't it?
No, if we work on facts, then we can figure something out. If we're talking speculation, then yes, it's gonna be back and forth.
I don't want to be destroyed, man. I don't want to be destroyed by Ibrahim, bro. Like, first time I'm seeing this. First time I'm seeing that they want to get destroyed by someone.
This one?
Yo, Woko! Yo, Woko!
That's what you want to hear.
I don't want to destroy. I don't want to destroy. Bro, the guy like Ibrahim just more like he
Raymond is a wind-up merchant.
You know, like he chewed you, bro. He chewed you and spit you out. But anyway, you know, you have another day to fight and also get destroy him. But I don't know when I will come though. We'll see how that goes. Yo, Woko!
Never.
Yo, Woko!
We let it slide, but that wasn't a disruptor.
Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in.
I don't mind this guy. He's a wind-up merchant.
Man. So, I want to say big ups to each and every one of you that are watching right now and I always support BBC. You know, I appreciate you all and keep supporting. You know, we've got more bangers on the way though. It has been rumored that our brother Kamaru Usman is coming back November against that guy that he fought, Colby Covington. Rematch. Gonna be a very good fight, but we'll talk about that right now. Stay tuned, guys, for more Susie Bagger right here. God bless you all. Stay tuned, guys.